Okay. I don't really have anything witty to say. I hope my cat is quieter this time. I gave him a little more food. I think he's already sleeping. I don't know. Whatever. It's time for more Wrath of the Righteous. We're a little behind. And the combat is still running. I'm just going to pick this one up right where we left off and say thank everybody for their support on Patreon. And Kieran, you are on. Loud thunder booms. Hacken is still on the ground, not looking the best.
Are both Hakan and Kieran down now?
Kieran's up, I'm pretty sure.
To remember to apologize for that later.
Reasonable. I'm gonna really quickly set Adam to... I'm gonna go ahead and put everybody there. Congratulations! All of you could delete the Discord if you wanted to. And who's a mod? Everybody here. Adam is holding turn in...
I was switching over because I realized I wasn't talking as soon as you started doing it, and I'm like, if he's just gonna switch it, then I'm going to wait and switch it myself. So the guy behind Grazak is a bad guy.
Yes.
There's a guy on top of Tempe.
Flying over, yeah.
And
there's a...
Jestik is crumpled.
Jestik is probably bleeding from a couple of popped eardrums.
Okay. Where is Bull being flanked by Tempe?
No. The bull is 5 feet above. And I need to really quickly.
I'm 5 feet above the bull.
I'm gonna grab Tempe.
Actually, I'm like 10 feet above the bull.
Okay. In any case, there's not a straight line between Tempe and another allied PC. The bull is not flanked.
Yay. All of the sarcasm, by the way. Is that accurate? No. Okay, so that's what I'm looking at. Making sure it's correct. Is correct? Yes, is correct. I have 1 mythic power left. Poopy. Grazak is standing, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Salivating at a severed dwarf arm.
And then I will move to here.
Okay.
And I will attempt the acrobatics. That is definitely less than half my movement speed. Yeah.
Alrighty, fair enough. I'm sure that would provoke.
Yeah.
I'm now realizing in my haste to set up my Discord, I did not get the stats for the Minotaur up. I'm going to grab that real quick. Indeed.
And I'm moving into a flanking position because I think he's flying, so I don't have to go through his square. Because if I went to try and go through his square, I would be stopped, and that is no bueno.
It would indeed be the not buenoist. I'm still really impressed with the when in doubt potion of long arm strat.
You have to use that strat in a game.
No, that does not hit.
Okay, proceed.
Yeah, okay. So I still don't have this actually set up as a roll, which should probably change at this point because it's just impressive.
It is indeed. One of my favorite thing about rogues is you don't have to, I can't really shut you off if you take improved unarmed strike.
So I am visible, so I only get 14 plus 46 plus...
I guess I need to see what Deafened does. I don't think Deafened does anything to a barbarian. A neg on perceptions?
That's basically all it does. Well...
And somatic components.
It hurts a bit more, but
that's what I'm saying. For the barbarian, I don't think it super matters.
That's actually a 30 because I forgot flanking.
Yeah, it's still good. And 30 damage onto the bull. And still standing. Anything else?
No, I'd like to keep my mythic point for now.
Okay. So the tide has very obviously turned in this room. I moved the token for the sake of cleaning this board up, but there's a passed out dragon over here. Rocks have fallen. Jessica's still standing. She's gonna take I need to move her token. This is not her move, I'm just measuring. Okay, so she can 5-foot step to here. As she does so, there's blood like running down her ears, and probably the bruise itself is only like the size of a quarter, but it's many shades of purple from where Kieran punched her, and I'm gonna full attack our Piali. Once I get her stat block open. Talking to fill stuff up. I should have made a character sheet for her. I have regrets.
Regrets?
I have regrets. Somebody made a comment on one of my videos that I look like the no regrets guy.
I can see it.
I'll kill all of you. Rocks fall. Oops, you've lost all your mythic powers. Oh my god, I am...
Not having a sheet.
No, she has like a sheet like on the, on Roll20.
An actual physical character sheet as opposed to a stat block.
I believe I'll let Adam do that as we move forward with things. I wonder if she'll appear and what she'll be instead of what she was. Still reconciling that Lan is a Zen Archer. But, alright, here we go.
Just a Blood Rager being a thing.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, how's a 29 to hit you?
29's looking pretty spot on.
Pretty spot on, you'd say. How about the 14's not probably going to get there. I assume, right, Nick? 14 doesn't hit?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Alrighty, 2d4 plus 7.
Just because I don't know if he put this on and it should still be in effect, did you add your dodge bonus from haste?
Oh, that's reasonable, yeah.
Well, that would only bring me up to a 20. Well, what's the dodge bonus from haste?
2?
+1?
Oh, 1. 1 or 2.
Yeah, a +1 wouldn't help.
Well,
it's still helpful, but the 29 still breaks through.
Alrighty, so she swings her falchion in to the tune of 12 points of damage. And I think I'm out of magic missiles. I'm gonna be sad that I'm out of magic missiles, I guess, mostly. How many first? Nope, not quite out. Okay, dope. So it's your turn. You have line of sight to that. You don't really have an ability to escape, do you? They only gave you the one scroll to get out of here. So we'll just take a 5-foot step over here and go ahead and Magic Missile Grizak. Try to beat your SR. But a 13, I assume, doesn't. Right, Nick? 13 over your SR?
That doesn't break through.
Alrighty.
I'd say an 11 plus your level for SR is...
V powerful. Okay, so then the Succubus, Incubus, this one here, takes a 5-foot step back, and y'all know what it is. I guess I'll roll the D-Hundy. To no avail. And you don't need a spellcraft check. They teleport off the battlefield. That Brimarack probably does too. While that's going on, step over here, and same story. The second sorcerer has a 25 to break your SR. Nick?
That breaks through.
4.
Can you guys hear me at all?
Yeah, gotcha now. 15 points of damage from that one, and we are out of here. Whip.
Naturally feel it now.
Are you feeling it now, Mr. Krabs?
Isn't that 2 standard actions?
I'm sorry? No, there's 2 separate sorcerers.
Okay. I'm like, wait a minute. I'm confused.
And then this one... Basically, the Brimaracks are all going to Brimmer out. However, this one is going to... Biz forward. I did make a character sheet for this one. And I did that because I had to, because they didn't make a character sheet for me, which is rude if you're going to give the anti-paladin amount, but not do anything with it. So we're going to, flying into the room, it kind of looks half wasp, half locust to resolve here. And I'm gonna try to, as a swift action, Grizak, you hear as the locust hornet thing comes buzzing in, the sound of its, like, wings echoing throughout the chamber resonate inside your head as it smites you. Hacha. Would a 23 confirm?
Oh, that doesn't confirm, thank goodness. But if it's any consolation, that still hurt like hell.
Thank you. And if you could make a fort save, assuming poison is bad for you.
Pretty bad.
I forget when. That's probably good enough. Yeah, it is. Never
Immune
mind.
to disease, not poison.
I only take paladins out to 2, so I forget when paladins do anything at all, other than when I get my Chada saves. That's all I was looking for. And there is a held action as in comes the buzzing, dropping off the side and out of invisibility. I think
Dear, there's another one.
There's another one. She's a little shorter than you might have expected her to be, but
Is it a halfling?
it's a halfling.
Oh, that little pint-sized
Thing that's about to stab Grizak. She begins doing a sing. Let me make sure they didn't change you into something that I don't know what is. They did not. Okay, good. So that means I have Inspire Courage +2. Got it. She began. The singing is probably less of a singing and more of a, like, cadence about how with Staunton dead she will rule Dresden and this, that, and the third. And we're gonna stab in for... Sorry, I'm just putting her character sheet together with Elephant in the Room in my head. 25 to hit Grizak.
That actually doesn't get through.
Okay, fair enough.
So wait, hold on. Did I still have the 26? Did one of the other 25s hit?
I hit you with a 23 to fail to confirm, a 25 which doesn't hit, then a 29 so far.
Okay.
I think this
So I'm
25.
hitting at 26 right now, so unless she's getting a bonus from being invisible or flanking, she doesn't hit with that.
Okay. And yeah, she isn't. She drops out when the stab happens. And if let me get a spellcraft check from anybody who can see Staunton.
Give me 1 second.
Yes, I spellcraft.
Yep, you're very clear that some magic is afoot. Tempe, I think, gets it too. I'm not sure what the level spell is off the top of my head, but Staunton is on the ground. His arm was severed by Grizak, but there's no blood coming out. He, much like you, is made of something a little more than the average dwarf and appears to have auto-stabilized, but his weapon, the eye opens up and starts, like, spinning really, really, really fast circles. As it does so, the weapon begins to glow kind of like a reddish color, and it dawns on... Tempe isn't sure what's happening, but seems like the weapon is summoning a monster. Kieran, on the other hand, is able to determine that the blade is intelligent and is casting some form of summoning spell to summon a demon, most likely to get it out of here. Speaking of get it out of here... Whoop whoop! Alrighty, Minotaur is going to...
So who's summoning the demon again? Can you, like, touch them?
Let me...
His weapon.
Yeah. Right there.
Who?
The guy that the Minotaur is flying over.
Oh, okay.
And we're going to start full attacking. We'll start by attacking Tempe. 6. Well, that'd actually be like an 18, but it still misses. Second attack at Kieran.
Lol.
Better than I thought I'd do. But lol indeed. You never know. You never know. Haken continues to be sad on the ground.
So, yes, this is actually true for him. You have a 25% chance to hit me, period.
Exactly. What does Staunton do? Staunton's dead is what Staunton does. He's on the ground and is sad. This guy is going to take the withdrawal action, is what he's going to do.
What's it?
The cleric that was responsible for bringing down Haken, he sees that the battle is over too, but he has no real means of egress, so he's going to just start sprinting out. And Grizak.
I have 1 mythic power left. I have 2 uses of lay on hand left and 1 smite left.
Okay.
I will tell you to either A, stomp on the blade, bite the blade, do something to the blade.
I'll probably try and do something like that, but first I'd want to try and heal myself with the lay on hands.
Reasonable.
Back.
Not bad. Fey Foundling doing work.
It's a wonderful thing.
Can I try and strike at the blade?
Yeah, you could try to, like, sunder it.
Is that going to be, like, make a sunder check or an attack check?
This would be, like, breaking a powerful magic item, so it's under.
Sundering.
Well, let me see if there's stats for, like... There's probably some very, very, what am I trying to say? Very, very specific ways you could destroy this thing. Nope. Okay, never mind. It's not that cool of an artifact.
What it's doing.
What if you had a redeemed demon lord? Yeah, it could, like, it would have to make a concentration check if you hit it.
Wait.
It has a brain.
It's unattended, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, it's attended. We'll say that arm has been severed.
If it'd be worth it to smite this thing. Why not?
I mean, it's definitely evil.
Because it depends if you're trying to destroy it or if you're just trying to stop it from summoning something.
Stop it from summoning something would be an okay start.
I suppose, never have I ever asked myself, if the paladin smites the intelligent item and then tries to sunder it, does he bypass the hardness? He bypasses the DR of things he smites.
I would say yes.
I want to say yes. Yeah.
I would rule them both as...
What is hardness except for DR?
Yeah.
Are we gonna stress
it's
test
item
here?
DR.
Yeah, pretty much.
That is my argument. It is item DR.
Yeah, I agree.
However, I also sit here and go, this gets really interesting when people start summoning foo lions or foo dogs, and they become statues, and they have DR and hardness, and you just start laughing at people.
Yeah, it gets real
You know
awkward.
what? You know what? I'm gonna go for it and... Oh, wait, I already used my swift action to heal myself, so I can't swift action to smite.
Oh, yeah, it's fair.
But you know what? I'll make 1 attack against the item, and then 1 attack against... what's-her-face?
Okay.
Jessica. Stick, yes. Sure I don't have the... Okay, yeah, I'm good.
Okay. So then first attack is coming down at the weapon. If I understand that correctly. Is that
That's
right,
how
Nick?
we listed the attacks.
Okay. I'm just double checking. Plus can't math. This would be my... I take 25 damage. I need a DC 35, which I just make. You hit the weapon takes damage, and probably, like, the eye starts, like, as it's spinning, the eye starts to bleed, and blood, like, wicks around the room. But it still seems to be able to keep the, like, magicalness running.
Double damage?
As for the 17, I'm sure 17 doesn't hit her, but I will do a double check.
Okay.
Yeah, 17 doesn't quite hit. The backswing goes at Jestic, who's able to dodge it.
You know what? I'll spend one more mythic point to try and hit her again.
Okay. Works for me.
Actually, should I try and hit the weapon first or her first?
I would hit the weapon.
I'll try the
He
weapon.
may be biased because he'd like to leadership that NPC, so don't kill it, please.
I would rather not have something else join the fight
Also that.
than take
And
care of
she
something.
can't just teleport out.
She will try.
Oh, and since this is a Crusader strike, this would technically bypass...
DR.
I'm not sure if that works for the same for here.
Mm-hmm. Is that... So that's going at Jestic, then?
It was gonna go with the weapon.
Okay, got it. So then 22 hits. That damage is probably enough. Yeah, so the weapon is able to do it. Well, I'll roll the... It probably loses the spell, but this roll is arbitrary. Did even
Wow.
better. But as if Grzak would like to flavor that destruction, he may. I was able to maintain my concentration, but not my shape, shall we say.
Well, I don't know. What happens when you destroy a...
That's what I'm
what
asking
I'm
you,
assuming
buddy.
is a very powerful... powerful, intelligent weapon.
Good metal meets bad metal, and nothing likes each other. Everything explodes.
I kind of get some Lord of the Rings vibes out of it.
I really probably should remember the name of that sword, but I can't.
Not quite a sword of glaive, actually, but... In any case, well, if Grzak has nothing, Grzak brings it down, and there's a draconic roar that, like, as the eyeball is spinning, the drone of locusts in the room intensifies, and then Grzak and Dragon Roar hits, and the sound is not unlike bugs scattering across the room as the blade is broken in half and probably flies straight up and then hits Tempe's, like, wind aura and then dissipates several different directions to clang off the walls. And it is destroyed. I want to double check whether or not
Backlash from that happening?
there's not. It's not that cool. Only you get the artifact. But if you're all done, it passes to Tippy.
Okay. I am going to cast my last. What's that spell called? Thunderburst.
If you knock me out again,
No. I am casting it here. It's gonna hit this thing, her, and him.
Okay. Gotcha.
And two now?
The guy out here that's running. So it's 8d6.
Alrighty. And is that a save for half kind of thing?
It is a save for deafened. I believe it's. Let me look at it just to make sure.
Even if you would take half, I'm sure that kills Jordan. Yeah, he had 5 hit points left. So he's gonna take a big boom.
Yeah, half damage and no deafness.
Gotcha. Alrighty, so then I'll save for Jesse. Or no, you didn't target. I'll save for the bug. Bzz, 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 for its save.
Yeah, I targeted the bug and then this whatever she is.
Alrighty, here's the bug.
I
Oh.
think was her name.
I'm just sitting here trying to not get you copyright striked.
Appreciate you. Okay, I assume an 18 is not quite good enough.
No,
Okay.
25 is the DC.
Bug remains deafened. I'm gonna probably just chuck a d20 at the board for Nura, who might have got there. I doubt it, but we'll go double check. She's got a 24 of all the things. So yeah, she fails.
Not
She
quite.
takes all 27, and you take 27 as well, buddy. Plus 27, habam. That actually, if you'd like to, the dwarf dies. The bug also dies.
Point of info: Hakan wasn't caught in that blast, was he?
No,
I don't
he
think
was
so.
not.
He's 5
Next
up.
Nura.
If like
No,
here is the
I've
center, I
been
think.
Spending, yeah. The center was right. What was it here? Yeah.
He's
Right
probably been spending
here.
most of the turns trying to figure out where he can place the spell and not kill him.
I really wanted to make a meme throughout the week about Tempe spends most of Wrath of the Righteous healing, gets to the part where everyone's down. So anyway, I started blasting because that's basically been Tempe. I just ran out of time. But y'all can appreciate it.
Him. Blast him.
Blast them. Okay. Oh, I forgot to mute Facebook. Someone messaged me on the internet, and now you all get to hear that I have friends. I'm gonna mute that real quick. And I also need to, while I double check what deafened does to a bard, you've killed a giant bug and the dwarf. If you'd like to flavor it.
As the dwarf is running out of the building, a shockwave hits him, and he like hits his head on the concrete, and there's much blood. And the same shockwave hits the flying insect, which goes careening out, and I don't know what happens to it, but it also is dead.
Alrighty. And if that's all from you, it passes to Kieran.
I saw him drop, so my thong is not in danger.
Ren, your girlfriend is picking on me.
I will continue to deal with Bull.
Fair enough. Alrighty.
Hold on. Trying to make sure I do this correctly.
Dead. You mean dead, right?
In the case of the bug has gone back to it. The same thing as if you killed Shaga. In the case of Joran, yeah, he had like 4 hit points and then took 27 damage. He's V dead.
Can I 5 foot into a space where I am threatening both the bull and whatever's under Tempe?
Whatever's under Tempe is a stable but dead Joran, or Staunton rather.
Okay.
I'm gonna move his token over here for now because the only concern we had with him was his intelligent weapon, which is now dead. So,
For now,
you gonna mend it?
I can.
Yeah. Oh, good.
Do what
I mean,
make?
Tempe can cast Make Whole, and then I can forge it back together.
Okay.
I mean,
We'll see how that turns
it's
out.
an intelligent weapon. It's probably useful. Well, in
Grizok
that
just starts
case,
Deus vaulting all over the room at the mention of this.
Bull go night night.
Bull go night night. I assume, yeah. Yeah, those all hit. If you want to flavor knocking out a giant demon bull.
I flutter right into his face, pat him on his snoot, and then haymaker, and uppercut.
Fair enough. Anything else?
Nope.
Alrighty. It's gonna feel like I'm picking on Grizok, but I'm just gonna.
You know, Grazek would probably be laughing his tail off if it weren't for the fact that he's both frothing, angry, and bleed from every hole on his.
When you get to high level rocket tag in D&D, that is kind of the notion, yeah. Alright, here come that falchion. Oh lord, he coming. But a 21 is not really going anywhere. And then...
I managed to catch the blade on part of the armor and where my scales are thickest on the shoulder, and I just barrel at her as it kind of clanks with my shoulder.
And she continues just screaming and trying to beat that same spot, even though she can't, like... The blade isn't piercing it. You're able to somehow hang an adamantine blade on your armor. Well done, friend. Nevertheless, the rage has overtaken her. And we're gonna... These guys... I would like to... I guess we're going to...
Him and Haw?
They're gonna him. They're gonna ha. Ha. This one has line of sight to Tempe. This one doesn't. So I'm gonna... Does Tempe have spell resistance, Tim?
Nope.
Alrighty, so it's 10 to you. And it's... To try to beat Grzak. 14 doesn't get that right.
It's 19 right
10,
now.
15, 20. Alrighty, and they begin backing off. Meanwhile, I'm gonna call it. He needs to roll, or she needs to roll a better than 20. Because she is in fact a deaf bard who is bardic performancing. And she is able to maintain. But what does she do? She's been whacked for quite a bit. I think we're gonna just continue to... As a standard action, she's gonna attack Grzak. And she's probably gonna back off too. The song of, we're going to take the keep and hold it for ourselves has rapidly turned to, you've been thunderstruck. I'm sure that doesn't hit you.
Are the bodies laying around us not an indication to her?
Insane bards are as insane bards do. She takes a move action it provokes from you. I didn't mean to have that rhyme, but there you go.
No, you don't.
Yeah, that hits. If this was 2E rules, that crit. Alrighty.
Just take the 22.
Just the 22. Still standing. The whatever radiance is right now, it's hard to keep up for me. It changes a lot. Slams into the side of her, blood everywhere. She does a run. I'm going to take Staunton off the initiative. Would anyone like to heal Staunton? Probably not. And Joran will take off the initiative too. Grzak, you're on.
Well, I'm going to try and swing at Jessica. I'm sorry if I accidentally kill her. Oh.
Is what is.
Here we go. $23 get there?
Yeah, I think a 23 is exactly what you needed, actually. Yes, indeed. 23 hits for 25 slashing, which... How those D12s look now, Jestik? Not so, Jestik. That was a bad pun. Plus, that equals... Oh, whoops. Plus, that equals... So, Grzak hits her. The first one, she's able, like... I'm flavor texting, she doesn't care about it, as it like hits like her chest and there's like a bruise but it doesn't quite cut, and the second one hits. She's still standing, but she starts to like wooze and wobble quite a bit. Anything else?
Nope, that's all.
Ready, Teddy.
I will top myself off though, or at least try to with another one.
Sure. Swift action lay on hands, gotcha.
That's a 19. Isn't it showing up as the crit is because...
If you were to hit a zombo with it.
Is it back to my turn?
Yep, you're on.
Alright, I am going to cast Shadow Trap on her.
Oh, rude.
Because that's apparently a spell I have.
It's a real good spell. She's not running away.
DC is 26.
Okay, but what save, though?
Oh,
I'm guessing will.
And this back again. There's Shadow Trap. Yes, will negates.
Alrighty. Here we go. 31.
Ah, okay.
You never think a lot about the Superstition Rage power until it buffs the hell out of your saves. Yeah.
is so good.
Yells something and witch, and continues like her shadow sticks for a minute, and probably she just glares at her shadow and then it stops. Anything else from you?
Is there any other ups? Any other enemies up?
There are
Around?
a couple of wizards who are running away, and her basically.
Okay.
Staunton.
Then that's gonna be it. I'm gonna come back to the ground, and then that'll be it to me.
Okay. Oh, Kieran.
Captain, my captain.
Oh, Captain, my captain. Oh, Kieran, my Kieran.
I will.
Stop the bard.
Sure. I will.
I should put her in a square. There we go.
Just for clarify, is Staunton like is he on the ground or is he up and trying to get away?
I moved his token. He is at -27, needs to get to -48 to die. Mythic 2 is as Mythic 2 does, especially when you have a really big con score.
I will tell Jestik, you can either die or join us.
Okay.
And I will. I think I have the vertical to charge.
You should. Do you have flyby attack?
No.
Are you charging the bard?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, provokes from Jestik.
No.
To know she flails the falchion up in the air, and you probably like grab the dull side of the blade and like flip over it, continuing the charge.
No. You're not picking on the little one.
But
Action should be on me.
Not with a
She
natural
is
3, she's not.
Male.
she doesn't have any reason for me to get sneak attack, unfortunately.
So a 19 it's a number. Not quite. You missed by
that's not
1. I'll
charge.
say that. Oh, would that be too higher?
Yeah.
No, then you hit. Dope. And it's 14 damage. In a world where I take the sneak attack away from the rogue and 14 damage is still assigned. Anything else?
Nope.
Alrighty, I'm gonna... Probably the last round of Jestik's existence. She's going to flail it. First attack at Tempe for a 28 to hit.
Nope.
And second attack at Grizak for a 21 to hit.
Misses.
And just kind of the big Ocarina of Time spinning sword attack that does not a lot of much. Meanwhile, at the Hall of Justice, you probably, if you're looking that direction, see somebody take a 5-foot step and open a door. Unfortunately, these poor bastards don't realize that this place was built to be a really confusing maze, and basically as soon as the second one runs through, in Abyssal, he just turns, it's a dead end!
Whoops.
It's another anti-room.
It's another room that is nothing, and why did they put that in this AP? I think I'd like to... yeah, I'm gonna quickly... I don't play a lot of this class. I want to make sure this would work before I pointed at Kieran, but I think it works.
I just like everything about this.
Oh, good. That's what we're doing. Federation. More creatures.
I should have remembered this.
What?
A name.
Yeah, how many hit points do I have? The battle's over. I think she'd rather. A 5-foot step happens, and then a spellcraft check happens. But I think you know what it is. Indeed, she casts invisibility on herself. How long am I deafened for, actually, really quickly? Was it just for 1 round?
I am not at my computer right now.
Ah, shit. Thunder.
Soundburst?
Not
It
Soundburst.
was the thunder thunder
It
shock.
It
or
was the
something.
thunder.
Thunderburst.
Thunderburst. Because that might not work. It depends on how long I'm deafened for. Deafened for 1 hour. Okay, fair enough. I lied. In theory.
Interesting. I don't see that spell.
It's not a spell, it's a revelation.
Oh, okay. I'm like, what?
For all the pigeonholing we've done as Tempe is healer, the Wind Oracle is quite the good blaster. Automatically fails in 2. There's a 20% chance spell okay, so I gotta roll spell failure. That will determine whether or not this works. If she needs to get better than 20, and she does. She ceases a bardic performance, 5 footsteps, and then disappears. Angers out.
Where did you 5 foot step to?
Right there. A square back.
So, does Staunton look like he's trying to run away?
No, I literally
Okay.
just moved the token
Sorry.
for clearing things up. He is on the ground. He is missing an arm.
Unconscious.
Okay.
Quite
Well-
unconscious.
The unconscious. Can you imagine a mythic orc who has to get to double their con to die with ferocity? That's real good. That's a lot of extra hit points. My next mythic PC.
Barian.
Yepper.
So, seeing as she's on her last limbs here, Grazek's just gonna walk up and I'm gonna give her a little chomp.
As you do. Unfortunately, a 22 does not quite get there. It misses by 1 if you want to surge.
Well, I only have one. Under the effects of dodge, does that mean we also get an attack bonus?
Yes,
Plus
you,
1 attack bonus.
which is exactly what you needed. Roll damage.
Forgot to include that.
I
And
figured.
you get an extra attack on a full round.
Gotta remember your hastes. Let me get what her con is. She goes to that. She takes only 8 points of damage.
Power attacking on this because down at that.
Sure. So then that puts her to... Oh, I'm looking at Nura. Like, why does she only have 6 strength? That doesn't make any sense for this, but she's an Unchained Barbarian, it turns out. Okie dokie. So then that puts her to that number, and she's still stable if you want to flavor it. Whoops.
I kind of just go up to her and I take a bite out of where her neck meets her shoulder. Quite severing anything vital. Definitely taking a chunk out.
Minus not 20, but minus 16. Actually, I think she might die to something much more heinous than actual hit point damage. This is the part where we stop and we talk about the most horrible thing of all, known as sudden barbarian death syndrome. Her max HP has been reduced by 20. Okay, so she's at the point where she's just taking full lethal, because most of the damage on her was non-lethal. She's unconscious somewhere.
First taste of non-fiendish, not taint.
Tastes like chicken. Anything else? I'll take that as a no. Is Tim at his computer?
No.
Tim is in the kitchen.
Is everybody down?
We got a couple people trying to run away, and that's it. And an invisible bard somewhere.
All right. I'm gonna hold off my turn for another, like 50 seconds.
Got it. Kieran.
I will 5 foot step,
Okay.
and I will
Roll the mischance.
pretty much.
Okay.
And then I think I can do this for the hate. Wow. Okay. Screw you, dice.
Fist of Fury! But in any case, high or low?
I'll go with high.
Alrighty, so then the first one misses. The second one hits. The third one is a natural 1. Assuming a 23 would get her, and I think it would. Yes, indeedy. For 14 points of bludgeoning damage.
Oh,
Which-
I did put an extra R in there. Oops.
I assumed it was on purpose. And anything else? You definitely, the first one, you just kind of hit nothing, and then the backswing, you feel something connect, and like, despite your hand being about as big as a cat paw, you knock the wind out of her. And the second one, you probably pushed her back a little bit, so punching in the same spot gets you nowhere.
No, I'm good.
Alrighty, there's a 5-foot step. A door opens. There's more shouting about how this is a dead end, too. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and 30. Just trying to find a door that might take them away from here. And...
Alright, I'm going to heal for 66 and anyone near me.
Okay, sounds good.
Also heal anyone who's down.
Yes.
Alrighty. And
Anyone who's down but not out.
Tim does not have selective channel.
Yeah, that's what I mean, is that anybody who has been knocked out and is...
In any case, Staunton doesn't get up, and Jestik had taken more than enough non-lethal that she's still down. She's just not going to bleed out. And, okay.
Doesn't magical healing get...
Yes, it heals both non-lethal and lethal at the same time.
The overwhelming majority of her D12s were non-lethal, so it heals both, but she's still... When you have, like, 90 points of non-lethal on you...
I hit her good.
You hit her good. All good, Tim?
Yep, that's it for me.
Alrighty. Kieran, if you want to... It provokes an attack of opportunity if you want to try the percentage dice. She's going to try to run.
I can't see her.
But you can hear her.
Okay.
So there's a 50% miss chance, basically.
If you're giving it me.
But the dice aren't. So you swing, she disappears. And for the first time in a long time, Matthew may play Pathfinder with us. Congratulations, buddy. I'm not sure if he's at his desk right now, but Matt, you're on.
We healed what, 15?
Mm-hmm. Or is he still dying?
I am at 2 hit points.
Woohoo!
So who's still up at this point?
There are a couple of spellcasters trying to run away. And you can hear the sound, the pitter-patter of little feet, dare I say, as someone tries to escape down the hall. As you come to, there's like broken shards of the glaive the dwarf in the green armor was carrying. His arm is somewhere. There's like rock feathers everywhere. That dragon took a bunch of damage from when it was down and got nuked as well, but it has a lot of non-lethal on it. But there's a dragon's corpse over here. You look over and the dwarf who brought you down lies in pieces in the other room. There's a dead minotaur. The dead minotaur probably almost like Warg and Gimli's you from Two Towers.
Okay. Let's see. Probably going to... I mean, doesn't sound like there's a whole lot for me to do at the moment. I'm not sure where these casters went in the first place, so I guess he's just going to kind of groggily get back on his feet, pick his weapons back up, and just kind of start getting his shit back together.
My life. So that's it for you. Just get up and put yourself... You can see the casters. They're in this room here, just feebly trying to open doors.
Far away are they?
Count the squares.
Keep forgetting to push to talk. How far away is it to, or how much movement does it take to stand back up and get up from prone?
A move action.
Oh, okay. Well, in that case, what is my speed? So I can
The line of
move
charge.
5, 10, 15, 20, 5, 15, 20. Wait, fuck diagonals.
Many a diagonal.
30, 35, so I can make it to like here.
Okie dokie.
He's just kind of starting to stumble into the room.
Indeed. If you can make a perception check for me.
Sure.
I'm a little mad at Paizo for not filling out this map as good as they could have. Nevertheless, this spacious bedroom is immaculate to the point of someone mute, please. There we go. The spacious bedroom is immaculate to the point of spotlessness. The bed sheets are tight against the mattress and no splinters mar the floor near the well-used sparring dummy in one corner, despite its obvious heavy use. An inkwell, a blotter, and a black quill sit atop an otherwise bare desk with a three-legged stool pushed out of the way underneath. A single large chest sits at the foot of the bed. Very clearly, this was like the general's bedroom. There's a little bit of signs that like people were waiting here, and not unlike when things went bad for you and your friends in high school, we all hide in somebody's bedroom and figure out a plan, basically. But there is like the treasure chest sits open, and you can see like the glimmer of gold and magic stuff inside it. But I digress. Grizak.
I'm gonna look to Tempe and just nod. Grazak nods his head over to Staunch. I start making my way over inside.
Making his way downtown. You see all that too.
Signals. From here. So 5, 10. Does diagonals count as double?
Diagonals alternate between 5 and 10.
You got it.
Assume it was 20, and I'll just double move.
Okay. And Kieran, want to mop up the rest of the sorcerers or go bard hunting?
I will spend my mythic action, or my mythic power, to cast See Invisibility.
Okay.
Do I see her?
Not from your square, no.
Okay. I will...
I'll put her back on the token layer, and if you see her, you see her.
5, 10, 20, 25, 30, 35.
And you should be able to see her
40,
now.
50. Yeah, I can see her.
That's why the pillars are blocked off in dynamic lighting, because we can use them as cover.
I will draw my own invisibility extract.
Okay. Good enough for me. Is that all?
Yeah.
Alrighty. These poor unfortunate sorcerers with only one scroll of dim door. What are we gonna do? What are we gonna... I guess, how many... I have 7 first level spells. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That one has used all 7 of his first level spells. I think this one has 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. He's got a couple more. He spent more times opening doors. Well, I guess I'm gonna just catch Grizak. In theory. 16 doesn't get there. Failing any other thing else to do. I have a melee weapon? Kind of. This tiefling charges at Haken. As he does so, his mouth opens a little too wide and his hands, like the knuckles, crack back like 15 degrees farther than the hands should be able to. And we're gonna, with nothing else to try, I guess I'm gonna try to bite you. But a 14, unfortunately, is Hagen is able to dodge it pretty effortlessly. Oh, Tempe.
Oh, yeah. I think I'm going to start dragging this guy over towards the unconscious dragon over here.
Just start piling up the prisoners.
Yep.
Okay, got it. So no spells or anything like that?
No, I'm not ready for them to wake up just at this moment, so no.
Reasonable. Alrighty. We're gonna just 5, 10, 15, or rather 10, 20, 10, 20, as Nura tries to run over the rocks that have fallen to basically no avail. And Haken. Who may not be at his desk right now. Or maybe...
Sorry, I couldn't hear anything.
You kind of cut out after you said Nura goes over rocks.
Oh, fair enough. And Haken.
So I'm just going to attack the tiefling.
Okay.
And we still have an extra attack from being hasted.
You should.
Oh wait, so they're probably not an evil outsider. So does a 15 confirm?
Is that with the buff from haste?
Echo.
Echo.
Yes, that does have the +1 from haste.
Okay, then a 15 doesn't confirm.
Okay. So we're sitting at so that first attack does 29 damage.
Okay.
This is still standing.
Still standing. Not looking good, but still standing.
That's weird. That wasn't supposed to roll a single attack. Oh well. 26 to hit.
For 24 more.
That would be for 20 more.
Now, if you want to flavor it.
So you said he tried to come up and bite me?
Mm-hmm.
So just sidestep and bring one of the wave blades and just throat punch him. And then bring the other one around to stab at the base of his neck. Or base of his skull.
And he does a big collapse.
And let's see. Oh no, what did I just do? Okay, no, we're fine. We're gonna burn a mythic power, run over here and hit this guy too.
Your weapons do slashing damage, right?
They can do any type of damage I want them to do.
Which means that now the scout who missed most of the combat and a lot of this combat, upstanding again, is now free to hack on.
Okay, I'm still hearing you, Echo.
You don't say.
Does a 17 hit?
It does.
Wow, I rolled a 2. Okay. That's 24 damage.
Okay. If you'd like to flavor it.
Oh. Is that what's he standing against? Is that a window?
A door.
Oh, okay. So yeah, just after killing the first one, just charge over to that one and just slam his face just real hard into the door.
Fair enough.
Grazok kind of glares at but it kind of brings him out of his.
Fervor.
Did you do that?
Because fuck these guys.
Cause fuck these guys. I know I say this around 3:30-ish every time I GM for y'all. What can I say except I'm regular? I gotta run to the potty real quick. I'll burb. So basically, the only thing that is left before the combat is over. If Kieran wants to make a quick attack roll, Nura has 2 hit points and you can see her. So assuming you don't roll a 1.
I was actually going to be like next round because I was going to go invisible.
Okay. So then,
But
yeah, we don't, just go ahead and roll and see if you roll a 1. Wow. So she probably ends up, what's your fly speed, actually?
50.
Okay, yeah, never mind. I'm not
She
going to...
can't get away. I was just going to use the invisibility to attack her flat-footed.
Makes sense. I like how you've named your attack Saitama. That's real good. Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and knock her out. We'll end the combat here. She has no real means of egress. She probably just gets a little closer to the front door. Maybe, possibly, had we run it, she might get exposed to Shadow Blood and a taste of irony as she falls in the... No, you stone-shaped it shut. Never mind. It's like, fall in the illusion hole. Haha. Anyway, and so it was. I will take tokens off the board if they are dead. If they are unconscious, I will remove things from them and place them over yonder. So we have a big old list of who's still kicking.
Staunton is still alive.
Staunton, the Dragon, Jessic, and eventually the spell takes a little while to wear off, but everybody recognizes that halfling bard who the queen assigned to help you all, who eventually betrayed you.
Oh, she's here too. Just gonna give her unconscious just a swift kick to the ribs.
You have improved unarmed strike. That might be dangerous.
I mean, I wasn't meaning to like actually do damage.
Fair enough.
For flavor, Tommy.
6 eyes are
Hey,
fixed on
I-
the dragon.
I don't have improved unarmed strike, and I punch to do damage.
There were some provoked attacks of opportunity I probably could have made, but oh well. I don't think I would have hit in most cases.
Probably not.
I use this.
How many
here.
spells do you have left, Tempe?
3 first level spells, and that's it.
And do you?
All of my all
Mythic?
save like 2 of my what is it? The channel energies.
No
But no mythic.
mythic. And you don't happen to have air bubble, do you?
Nope.
Why do you want air bubble?
Because we have bags of holding.
Oh, fair.
Bubble only work underwater.
I don't know.
I forget. I thought he was gonna try to fly inside the dragon or some weirdness.
I guess.
Very fixated on this dragon, though.
Makes sense.
I guess I will grab. I'll go with the women because dwarves are heavy.
I mean, Jessic probably weighs as much or more as Staunton does.
Yes, but dwarves are stout and harder to carry.
And they have a low center of gravity. We determined that.
So
He's in heavy
speaking
armor.
of carrying them, how are we going to keep them from like hurting us when we get up? Like some of them we could like tie some rope around and whatnot, but like the dragon, what the hell are we doing with the dragon?
I want to know why the hell this thing is here.
I also go and pick up my thong because I'm not leaving that, and I want that to be heard.
I mean, you definitely have proven to us you don't need your weapon to be functional. I'm still, like, color me impressed. But noted, you found your weapon.
How long has it been since we last spoke with
Aravashnio?
because the last time that one of us spoke with him, he told us to meet him within an hour.
It's
Has it been an hour?
probably not. It's probably been, in the grand scheme of things, probably like 30 minutes at most, yeah. D&D, where a 3-hour combat takes like 10 seconds in game. One of these days I'll keep a round counter so we can see how long the... I should have done that for the garrison. I should have, like, how long is the gray garrison taking us to finish in game? 30 seconds!
Would like to take a quick moment
Lacan,
to
did
go
you say you saw a chest earlier?
Oh yeah, there's a chest in the bedroom.
We should probably go check that out.
He says as he goes to coup de grace those rocks that weren't dead.
Got it. Chest in there, punch.
We're gonna do this. 'Cause I am hurting.
Can we inspect this dragon one more time? I can't remember how much did we know about what this thing actually is.
You know that one of its scales turned the other way and kind of like carved in very clearly is the unholy symbol of the god, which is opposite to your own, the god Dahak.
Go ahead.
Inspecting it doesn't really... You don't see anything other than what you already saw. It's certainly like a concerning thing for Grizok that
Absolutely.
your enemy has sent someone to presumably oppose you, but they don't have anything special on them or any indications of anything really.
What I mean is like the nature of this particular type of dragon.
Sure, fair enough.
Is this here?
I'm sort of doubting that they have any different, like, real, what am I trying to say? Like, difference between a chromatic or a metallic or anything like that. It does have, like, there is a faint, if you were to detect, it certainly pings as evil and has kind of like a... The horns are a little too perfectly shaped. The spikes on the end of the, like, mace tail are uniform, as if it was almost in the same way that, like, a lot of outsiders look exactly alike because they're created, like, off a template, more or less. Other than that...
So, Grazak is aware that this is a extra-dimensional being in the same...
Oh, we lost him.
Yeah, you cut off after extra dimensional being.
An extra-dimensional being. It is the finest being.
But yeah, we rolled high enough to know it was a extra dimensional hell dragon.
Pretty much. It's probably... The air around it is probably like 30 degrees warmer than everywhere else, which in the Whirlwind is subjective. But other than that, there's nothing particularly special about it compared to like any other dragon.
Well, that this brings up the fact that this monster is this begotten child of my god is here is very, very concerning. Azak would like to bring up that end times are not meant to be brought by these demons, but by an all battle of the great creator and his word son. The fact that the betrayer's child is one of the betrayer's own minions is here, very bad omen.
I think we're a little past the point of bad omens.
As Hawkins' sword comes out of another rock.
So, I must know more. I need... That's why I want to bring it back. Know if this thing can... a dimension door like other...
Is it old enough to have spells yet?
It is old enough to have spells. It itself is... It's as extraplanar as Well, that's not true. It's if a tiefling is mildly extraplanar and a Baelor is very extraplanar, this sits kind of like in the middle, leaning towards the tiefling side. It doesn't have the ability to go back to the outer planes, and truly, the outer planes might not necessarily be its home. In some cases, planar dragons will enter the material plane by various extraplanar means and then set up a lair somewhere to resemble the plane from whence they sprung.
This thing might not have actually been a... This thing wasn't necessarily born a... As for a better, lack of a better word, a mortal dragon.
Right. It most likely, I guess, spells and things exist to turn a dragon into a different kind of dragon, maybe, but no, it was born looking exactly like it is. Whether that was in Hell or in Mendev.
Okay. The way I want Grazak wants to learn the truth of it.
Of course.
Try and bring it with us.
Okay. Certainly an
We're
unconscious
going to
dragon.
do that.
I mean, you could drag it to Shaga, who is able to, as a huge creature's carrying capacity, can just carry this thing out of here.
Oh wait, looking at all of our collected bodies, did the other dwarf die, or were they just unconscious?
He tried to run away. A thunder happened, and it pushed him. He contacted something he shouldn't have and broke his neck. He's very dead.
He dead.
He dead.
Okay.
We still need, now that we have one of them here, we need to find out where the banner is.
Okay.
That's
Before we
tomorrow.
do that, let's go into another room real quick, and I'll spam some heals on all of.
Did we ever even find the stairs?
Well, there's a door over here.
Heals first, please.
Yeah. So let's like pop into this room, like over here.
Heals first, please, says Hawken as like another tooth falls out of his mouth.
Just anyone who's hurt. Yep. Come on over. All right, I'm
go
just
hug
gonna
Auntie
stand
Tempe.
those.
Maybe this time when you hug Auntie Tempe, she won't explode you.
Auntie,
Tell me when you're all healed up. All right. So our first one is, holy crap, 26 health.
Oh, good.
Okay, I'm all healed up.
Okay. Second
thought
one is
you were
19
out.
health. No. I have almost all of my
Well,
channel energies.
That was all the numbers that were there. Was me going, okay, here's this extract. I need more. Here's this extract. I need more.
Alright, is anyone still done after those 2 heals?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm at about half.
How about after 30?
Ooh, nice.
Still down?
I could probably use one more.
How's
Okay.
this? What's this door?
16?
That puts me to 93 out of 107. So I'm
Okay,
probably.
I'll just go ahead and finish you off, and I've got 2 left.
I'm gonna take that as
the
enough.
19 then.
Yeah, that 19. The last one.
Yeah, that'll do it. I'm back.
That'll do,
Alright.
kid. That'll do.
I've got 2 left for future use. and 3 first level spells. I am real low.
we're all pretty tapped out.
Kieran, that door is locked.
Oh, by the way, where is that?
Chest?
If you look
Yeah,
in
where's that
glaive.
chest?
I was gonna say the glaive.
Broken and scattered across the room. Chest is, like I said, they probably should have put more stuff in this immaculate bedroom, but it's in this room, and we can start doing loots once everyone's ready.
You talking about
Oh.
like broken into like half, or broken into like shattered into like?
It is destroyed.
How many pieces?
I don't know.
Lots.
You got the broken condition from the first attack, and then it was destroyed from the second.
Okay, so I believe I am ready. for some things.
Okay.
So what do I got?
Oh, so we're doing loot. Okay, fair enough. I didn't know if you wanted to open or try to unlock this door.
I mean, I can
Carry everything with us.
throw dice. Yes, I have a tier 4 bag of holding on my backpack. Or somebody has a tier 4 bag of holding.
So you gave one to me.
In any case,
Bag of holding.
Kieran unlocks this door. There are stairs leading down to another door.
Okay, I closed door.
Got it. And now we're ready for loot?
Yeah.
Alrighty. Holy poop, there's a lot of it. I'm going to assume we're going to strip the NPCs of all the things they have.
Yeah, we can give it back to them later.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Alrighty. So we'll start with Staunton, who one of these things is the broken. And I'm gonna try to copy this straight out of the
That's a scary thought, because that doesn't work out well usually.
It might in this one. I haven't tried to do it from Book 2 of Wrath. I'm going to paste and see what happens. Hey, it works! Look at that! Okay, so I'm going to remove Soul Shear. Soul Shear has been shorn. And... real quick, Kieran, if you roll a 2 on Spellcraft, what do you get?
If I roll a 2?
Yeah.
21.
Okay, so that should be able to identify all of this. Staunton is carrying a Wand of Blindness and Deafness with 8 charges. A set of... I'm just reading this for people watching on YouTube. A set of +3 spiked full plate. A +1 returning throwing axe. An Amulet of Natural Armor +2. A Belt of Mighty Constitution +4. If you remove that from him, he dies. A Headband of Alluring Charisma +2. A Skeleton Key, and 68 gold.
I was not expecting that.
I wasn't either, but I'm like, wait, that's why your con's so high. I get it now.
You should hold on to that long enough so we can give him a public execution.
By just removing his belt.
How much
I mean, or
how
heal
much
him
health
enough.
does he need to not die for us to take it off?
It's kind of a metagaming question to ask that. He'd probably be conscious.
That's my heal check.
Oh, yeah, fair. Okay, I'll stop and do the math real quick. He has his con would drop by that, and then he would lose.
Oh, he is armorless, weaponless, and down an arm.
Anybody?
Did bring him back too. He could probably handle him.
Can somebody get me the caster level of blindness deafness on a wand?
I want to say it's a 2nd level spell at earliest. I could be wrong though.
So what? Cast level 5?
I think so.
That's it is 2nd level, so I think it would be cast level 3. Unless a cleric made the wand, in which case it would be cast level 5.
Well, he's a paladin, so stop with the.
He also doesn't. He also doesn't want to tell us where he got the wand. It's just that he has it on his person. Okay.
I do not like the fact that in Google Docs or Google Sheets that if you put a plus, it automatically goes into a formula instead of needing like the equal sign. So when you try and write like a +3 spiked full plate, it goes, oh, you're doing math. Oh, you didn't do math. We're just going to delete it all.
Oh, is this being put in the Google sheet, or is this put in...
This is all going into the Google Sheet. I spent most of last game while I was unconscious and stunned. Thank you, Tim. Putting it in there.
I'm not gonna lie, if it weren't for the fact that Dascari's symbol is emblazed all over Staunton's arm, style of armor that he has is exactly what Grazak would probably actually.
Well, much like the Pazuzu on the Wave Blades, you can probably just buff that out. Okay, so I did the math. Tempe did 1 channel while Staunton was still in range when Hawken was on the ground in the combat. So presently has enough to... He would drop considerably, but he would still be... you still got to get him to minus 40 before he dies. So he would be... Never mind, I lied. Still up and running. And Bard. Her gear is considerably less cool and needs to be altered just a little because she no longer has the scroll of that or that because she used them to get away. She doesn't have those anymore. She doesn't have these anymore. And she has a con belt too. Damn, fair enough. Everybody gets a con belt. Nura is carrying a +1 chain shirt, a non-magical dagger and short sword, as well as a sling. A belt of mighty constitution +2. I don't know what the magic item does, but a horn of assured victory. A bunch of non-magical stuff that probably no one cares about. A ruby worth 100 gold, 21 gold on top of that, 9 silver, 5 copper.
Man, maybe she should have used that horn of assured victory because they lost.
I imagine it's just like a +2 to will or something.
We have a skeleton key, so we can get in anywhere.
And...
I assume the skeleton key is limited to the castle.
yeah. If we are stripping Jestik down as well, which I believe we are.
How long is this taking in game to?
Not any time at all. I just have to crunch some numbers real quick. We're at the looting session. If Kane Smale from the IOPC is watching this, he'll start screaming about how this is a looting session and we should all tune out now. Come back next time because he hated looting sessions so much. Okay.
Probably takes like 10 minutes for us to loot.
At like most, yeah. She no longer has that.
Point of thing, with bags of holding, putting like sharp objects into them,
Nope.
is there the threat of accidentally ripping the bag of holding by putting something sharp and?
Nah.
It's not from putting something sharp, but I think if you overfill it, the bag can like rupture or something like that.
Or
Yes.
like if there happens to be an invisible portable hole somewhere attached to an item, then maybe. But all right, Jestik has a potion of cure serious wounds, +2 hide armor, +1 adamantine falchion, and a considerable amount of cashy money. And now...
bag of holding with 100 gallons of.
Oh, I guess now not the big one. We gotta get... where is... There you are, buddy. Oh, he was
The cleric.
the clerk. Who has... boom. Whoops. +2 fire resistance banded mail, a +1 heavy steel shield, a +1 spell storing light hammer, and 9 gold. In case you needed more. I wonder what the math that whoever made this module, like, oh, we gotta put 9 gold on to make sure they have wealth by level. It just seems really random.
Why do we have a bedroll and a cold weather out? I don't care. I'm not worried about it.
Okay.
I'm assuming they gave them actual NPC loot, and 9 gold was what was left after the rest of their equipment.
Yeah, that makes sense. And then the big one is that treasure chest, which most of that is flavorful stuff. I'll grab here's the actual loot bits, and then I'll start flavor texting at everyone, because there's a considerable amount of treasure in that.
Bring the entire chest with us and count that out.
Indeed. Okay, so the first thing that's like most standy outy, actually that's not true. There's a lot of really nice stuff in here. The first thing that's important to the plot is there is a journal in the chest. In addition, of course, this would be the one that I try to copy it. I'll just be fine. For some reason, the ones wanted to go to I's here, and the C's wanted to go to O's. Almost there. We got 633 copper, 1,427 silver, 5,786 gold, 376 platinum, 9 garments worth about 100 gold each, y'all assume. Belfast the tailor from Dresden, or from Canabra, shows up. He says, that's probably about 100 gold, and then goes back to camp. I forgot he existed. There's also a Pearl of Power for a 2nd level spell. A Rod of Metal Detection, Metal and Mineral Detection, excuse me. A Scroll of Divination. A set of stone-carved dwarven figures worth about 600 gold. A pair of expensive vases, which somehow survived the rampant thunder striking, worth about 250 each. A silver coffer worth about 350. This is all going to go in the private chat. I'm just reading it for people on the interwebs.
Yeah, you're going.
This has got to be the biggest loot run I've ever had in any D&D game.
Oh, just wait. It gets better. And an elixir of climbing, a potion of neutralized poison, a wand of non-detection with 23 charges remaining. In before Kieran runs the rest of the AP solo. A dose of oil of life, which is crafted from a cure serious wound potion, and the catch-all of everything here. A fire truck. Probably
Catch-all of everything, a fire truck.
a fire. You guys, yeah, vehicle. Yeah, you're good. You're super good. Kieran's eyes probably bug out of his head a little bit as he sees this. It's quicksilver from none other than a philosopher's stone. Yeah.
What?
Yepper. In parentheticals, if he's slain but the PCs don't find the stash, one of his minions uses this oil on Staunton's remains, if possible, to resurrect him.
At which point I go, F off.
Is it, little one?
We're lucky.
Should we be effing off of?
We're lucky we didn't just leave his body around.
Well, yeah, we gotta go execute him. Make him pay for his crimes.
Yeah.
Before we kill any of them, we still need to know.
Alrighty. The next bit is Staunton's journal tracks back pretty faithfully throughout his entire life. There's a lot of information in it. I can give it to y'all right now, or if there's anything else you want to do in between, we can do that. But there's going to be a lot.
81.
Take time to. Will that take a lot of in-game time to read?
There's, let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4. The 4th paragraph is incredibly long. 5, 6, about 7 paragraphs worth of this guy's life, and that's very relevant stuff to the campaign, but it'll take a minute.
I'd say we take all of this, get all of our stuff back to camp and stuff, and read it later.
Maybe put it in like chat or message it to each one of us so that we can read it on our own time.
Yeah, I definitely want it to be out loud on the video.
Oh, okay. You want it to be out loud
because there's a lot of stuff here.
I don't know about y'all. I don't do well remembering while listening for stuff like this.
And I will make like small notes about stuff in in private.
Is this a supplemental video thing that could be done?
It's possible.
Because that's what I thought.
We can also put important notes from it into the Google Drive.
Yeah.
If somebody wants to do the money, that would be greatly appreciated.
Well, actually, you know what we could do? It would take a little in-game time, but technically speaking, everyone has leveled up. If you would like to go ahead and level to 9 when you get back to camp, you can.
Oh,
and
nice.
And while the leveling is happening, we can lore and roleplay.
Cool. Did we get the loot from the chest?
Yeah, that was the big one.
Yeah, that's the 633 copper pieces, 1427 silver pieces.
Gotcha.
I'm at the +2 fire resistance branded mail. So if somebody wants to go down and pull all that money out, the money, and add it to the sheet, that would be greatly appreciated.
Me, but I feel like we should be taking care of like that sort of stuff with the loot, like options.
It's up to y'all.
Well, let's drag all these folks out of here, and then we can start doing all that stuff.
Okay, makes sense. So is it?
We've got our army like here now. That they'll be here in like 15 minutes, and it'll take us that long to drag these guys out.
That's reasonable. Everyone's just standing outside the front door. Where is everybody? I ain't sure been in there a while. What the hell's going on? You just come out with Staunton's head on a pike. All done. Big damn heroes.
Looking at a
Don't you know how rocket tag works, guys? Jeez. Now I have
technically on a time clock, on a time.
ish.
There's the threat of like the Marilith potentially coming back at any moment.
I think we may have turned off the clock when we killed everyone in the fort.
Let me get her token real quick. Can everyone make it? I'm kidding. We're not at the point where I feel like I need to vomit a like CR 19 mythic 7 or 8. I forget what a mythic Marilith is, but it's a lot. Y'all are good. You're not that good. Unless you want to try.
We're not enough to on after we spend all of our spells and all of everything.
Yeah, no shit. I enjoyed that combat. That combat was...
No, the combat was good.
I replaced the Vrox were
I'm just
supposed to
out
be
of
Babaus.
everything.
The Vrox were supposed to be Babaus, and there wasn't a dragon, and then people that ran to go hide in Staunton's bedroom and pout, basically.
Speaking of Staunton, Grazak will awkwardly kind of eye to as inconspicuously as
Okay.
you guys will excuse me, I'm gonna go.
Eat this arm.
Yeah. Sue, thank you for this meal. I will
Bless the taters, bless the meat.
like to take a bite out of him, out of the arm.
Sure, go for it. As an Uruxi, you certainly like meat is on the menu for your race. You're not gonna get
but,
you're not gonna get like Kuru over it.
Well, I don't know. With all the kinds of... Here's the thing. All the other fiends, it makes sense that their flesh is poison for me.
Mm-hmm.
Staunton was mortal, but he was also a champion of a demon.
Yeah. Well,
Corruption of the soul.
if
Who
you
knows if it might translate over.
you can
That-
make a knowledge
That's
check,
why
or
I'm
you could
taking,
blindly
like, a
bite it.
test.
Just like a test nom.
That's nom.
As we now, you thought we were going to debate necromancy. No, we're going to debate the ethics of cannibalism here on the channel.
It's not cannibalism. It's a completely different race.
Yeah, no, I'm aware. I don't need to be like challenged on it. It's mostly a joke because this has come up in a couple of games of mine. Like a couple people who might be watching this will remember an orc I played once. I digress. You take a bite out of it. It's probably your tongue probably goes a little numb over it, but that's about it.
Probably goes a little bit, what?
Numb. I don't know if canonically Grazak has tasted dwarf before, but it wouldn't taste much different.
Still no sense in wasting it.
Indeed.
I'm gonna try and finish off part of it.
Actually, it probably crunches a little more. You know what? Yeah, he was an anti-pally of Descari, so bite, it probably... Nick, do you think Grazak has had insects before? as he hangs
So
and
his flesh is like bug meat.
Crunch is the same. Maybe a little less slimy, but equally satisfying, dare we say. Well, you bit Vescivores at one point in this game. Yeah, you know what bug tastes like. You probably, like, the skin is a little, papery and crunchy, and then underneath there's the tasty dwarfness that leaves your tongue kind of up, but there you go.
Oh, I'll keep the hand. Maybe bones into a nice little
Go make a hand of Orcus real quick.
twist.
I need this for my 3rd ring slot. Puts the hand of the mage on around his neck slot. Okay, so I assume while this is going on, everybody is dragging dragons and throwing halflings over shoulders and things of that nature.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Okay. So the 4 of you do make it back out the front door. As you do so, the squad is waiting for you outside. The army has, like, filled in the inner courtyard. There is a resounding cheer as you guys step out. Your lieutenants are basically at the front of the army, and Arvashnel just kind of raises his eyebrows and cocks his head. Aaron and Sociel are, like, happily holding each other and rejoicing that the fight is over.
Oh, what about new guy?
New guy is... you mean the guy you rescued?
Yeah.
He is, you presume, somewhere, like, out and about. He's not with the, like, important people.
Oh, okay.
And the floor is yours.
Potions of cure light wounds left.
You definitely just pick some up from the bodies.
How are you not full?
There is another cleric outside you
actually-
could cry to as well.
Well, now that we have Staunton morale boosted army, I was gonna see if anybody was going to berate me for reviving him bringing him back feeding him a potion.
Berate you?
Real quiet.
And it seems like silence is your answer.
Berate you?
Brad?
No. Look at you kind of silly that we're not doing this back at camp where we can hold an actual trial and something while we're still here? Yes. I was also told I could look.
Yeah, let's put them off to the side for a little bit, and then maybe read a book while we level.
All right, fair enough. Is everyone comfortable leveling to 9 with the session time?
We should.
I thought that's what we were already doing.
Okay, fair enough. That's where we are. I just want to make sure that we're not like, oh wait, I'm paying for my time right now. We're doing math. Okay.
I mean, I have
What,
Hero
mate?
Lab, so what's math?
Reasonable. I need to message those guys and be like, hey, can I have some dank software? Because Hero Lab looks cool. I just don't want to buy every single book. Okay, so the journal is, again, it's probably about as big as Kieran is, and it records events in Staunton's life from, like, his early childhood in the Five Kings Mountains all the way to the very first Mendevian Crusade, looking for a sky citadel. He eventually, time where he was tricked at first into like, oh no, go do this, it'll be fine. Tricked by a demon. And then that was like the start of his fall and service to various demon lords. There's a lot of notes in the margins about how, like, I'm trying to flavor text it a little better than it reads like this, and he feels like that. As you get closer to present day, there is a lot of, like, really quick, I am going to be talking a lot. So I'm going to mute Matthew. There is a lot of like, as the siege starts, he begins like filling in events of like, oh, I did this particularly heinous atrocity, and it becomes pretty obvious to all of you as you flip through. There's a lot of like, he is embellishing to make the atrocities, though atrocious they are, seem even more so in an effort to like shake people who might possibly find this. In addition, there are notes detailing, this is the part I'll start filling in our chat after game, but dozens and dozens and dozens of various holy and sacred, both weapons and armor, and he and someone who he notes as his brother Joran, you assume the cleric, had been successfully corrupting through the use of something called a corruption forge. There's lots of details for like how exactly that process goes down. So if anyone would like to convert to evil and go make some unholy weapons, this would give you the key to do so.
Seal and any of the dwarf craftsmen.
I'm sorry, I only heard a little bit of that.
I was saying Social and any of like the other craftsmen that are part of our army would probably be pretty interested in that.
Yeah. In addition,
Being said, Kieran could probably do a better job of making sense of it.
yeah, Kieran probably, like, the formula is written out in plain common, for lack of a better way to say it. It's, if you have a basic understanding of how magic item crafting works, you get it. There's also a very detailed description of the Sword of Valor. And at the very end of it, there's a long couple paragraphs detailing Staunton's frustration over the fact that Aponovinkus wants to keep the Sword of Valor as a trophy and not attempt to corrupt it. It doesn't list anywhere, like where it might be, but it's based on these notes. It's unlike a lot of the things that are wherever the corruption forge is, this seems to be intact. There's also notes on looks like a few weeks ago, an unusually powerful shadow demon came to Dresden. It arrived in a possessed body of a crusader who Staunton writes is now long, long dead after being turned over to his minions. The the shadow demon bore gifts from a place called the Ivory Sanctum, and if you'd like to know more about it, that is behind a Knowledge of the Planes check.
I'm not gonna know.
Haken, on the other hand. Oh my.
I have a chance.
Should at least put points into Knowledge Arcana so I know more about Draconic.
Yeah. I feel like that falls under nature for you, probably. I'm just trying to...
That would make sense for any of the material plane dragons, but Mr. Spitfire over here
is identifiable by both. I am swinging it in your favor. If you would like to force it as a planes check, we can. Or an Arcana check, we can. I'm just trying to give you what you want, Nicholas.
Everything I want.
That got weird. I need to... The thing about specific places that are hard to find in specific APs means I need to open a book really quickly.
Besides, I can always just get the ask from, once he decides to not be unconscious anymore.
Mm-hmm.
How full that'll go.
Only one way to find out. Go lay on hands on him real quick. Whoop. Okay, so the Ivory Sanctum is... Haken and Kieran have probably both at least heard of it. You've never obviously been there, but it's the most fortified stronghold that the Templars of the Ivory Labyrinth, aka the cultists of Baphomet, have on the material plane. It's rumored to be hidden somewhere in the World Wound, but no one has found it so far. You could expect all manner of... There's probably like... Though those wouldn't be super uncommon for the World Wound. Lots of like portals directly to Baphomet's realm, and if Baphomet wants to support Baphomet's followers, he's probably fortifying that particular location.
Reference to Dahak.
There's no references to Dahak in this book. Well, no, that's not true. Towards the end, there's not a lot in there, but Staunton does note that Dahak has sent the dragon in question to like, the notes are a little more pejorative and don't use any kind words about Grizak, but sent to oppose you. Staunton isn't super happy that there's something here that could, like, tie in a true evil deity and not just like a demon lord, and there's bits about how he feels like his power is being usurped and he's insecure about it. But yeah, there's little bits in there.
Who's basically playing as the lackey to a snake lady.
More or less.
Did it mention a dragon's name?
It did. I will generate that between here and there. There's a lot more to get through. In addition, the Shadow Demon brought 5 elixirs of powder brewed from a what's known as a Nahindrian crystal, which the planes checks were already rolled. We can use the same. It's what's left behind when a demon lord is killed. There's almost like a, dare I say, soul gem, right? That kind of thing. There's further notes explaining how Staunton volunteered to take one of these elixirs to, like, test its potency. Later, the Marilith holding the place did as well. There was a red dragon as well as a Shakarba, a 6-eyed runic snake monster servant to the demon lord Abraxas, who also were fed some of the Nahindrian crystal serum, and they died. And then there's also notes of the Chimera, who... This is where it seems Staunton, his Chimera friend, as well as Aponavinkus herself, attained their mythic ascension by eating essence of Demon Lord, more or less.
Oh. So they didn't necessarily win the gods, gain mythic by winning a god's favor directly, per se. They took performance-enhancing drugs.
Yeah, and it killed a couple of them. You guys, 3 of you guys, and basically 4 of you guys were chosen by a deity to lead the charge into the world when these guys tried to cheat it. There's further notes about how Staunton is, again, uncomfortable and insecure about his authority being usurped, as this shadow demon currently rests in a chamber beneath the citadel where it has been placed in charge of protecting the Sword of Valor. And lastly, there's a little more notes about someone who's been working alongside the Templars of the Ivory Sanctum. In the fortress, there is a man by the name of Xanthir Vang, who happens to also lead a group of wizards known as Blackfire Adepts. There's something in the nature of this, but Staunton doesn't go into great detail about exactly what or why, but something about the man's nature was revolting to him, and the writing is very, like, short, sweet, to the point. Like, Xanthir Vang showed up working with the Templars of the Ivory Labyrinth. Really, really, really freaks me out. That kind of thing. And I will get some quick cliff notes into the Discord real quick, and that's all the important stuff.
LR, in regards to the dragon, it was brought here specifically
To oppose you. JK, I lied. I'll get the notes in between this time and next. So I'm not just like typing frantically while people are talking at me. But as far as any other role player things anybody wants to do, the floor is open. We can also pause the recording if anyone wants to just level up and go back to it. It's up to y'all.
Since if we do have time, there is something that I would like to do that I haven't utilized yet.
Okay.
So I took the Commune with Power mythic.
Okay. You have me at a disadvantage, friend. I'm not sure what that does.
Basically,
I'm betting it does exactly what I think it does. Also, you are coming in and out pretty hard on us, Nick.
hold on. Let me try. Well, get more of a. I want to commune with power to ask more about. About Dahak's presence and, whether or not any of the three that we've brought here might actually be worth trying to redeem, including the dragon.
Okay. So that will take you about an hour of uninterrupted meditation, it looks like. If anybody else has anything they want to do while Grizak is doing that, now would be the time.
When do you get foreclosed post?
This goes better than the last time I tried to commune with the ancestors.
Fair enough. I'll take that as a... Well, go ahead. I heard it.
I will go up to Tempe and see if she can learn greater invisibility.
Greater invisibility?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's on my list. Let me look.
I'm actually not sure either. It is
Magus,
not.
medium, mesmerist, occultist, psychic, sorcerer, wizard, spiritualist. Nope.
So unless it happens to be on her mystery.
No, I have invisibility, but it's not greater invisibility. And it's also not a spell, it's one of my wind things.
What's his
yeah, you
bucket?
guys do
Can't
that.
cast level 4 spells, can he?
Vashniel, no. But we should say, actually, starting at 9th level, each time the Wind Oracle activates invisibility, it's treated as greater invisibility. Though each round spent in this way counts as 1 minute of a normal invisibility duration. I know, Achilles.
You have greater, that's right.
It felt weird to me that wouldn't tick up, given the general power level of the Oracle. So, yes, in theory, essentially, since she's level 9 now, she has it.
Are you attempting to give me that spell, or was it...
I'm betting he needs it for crafting.
Well, I would love to make a ring of greater invisibility.
Do you
But it
think
kind of...
Do you think I could use that ability as the focus?
For the purposes of lowering the DC, yeah, you can cast the spell as a supernatural ability, basically.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll help you with that.
I have to see if I have that still saved.
Okay. So while you guys are doing that, Hacking got anything?
I'd like to take some time to file off all the Pazuzus off of my wave blades.
I also have an ability called Invisibility Per, which dispels invisibility within 5 feet per level, if you wanted to put that on something.
Achilles.
It hurts my soul.
So I think what I might do is, if since there is a little bit of like meta talking but also flavor talking to do right now to expedite things, I might ask Godric and Dragon Ninehide to move to general chat, and anybody who's like, we need to do this to figure out our level process and our crafting process, if you want to pop over there, so I don't have like, how does this spell work in between. The paladin would like to talk to Jesus right now.
we hop into?
Just any other voice chat in. Well, I have powers. I'm just gonna put you in general really quickly. Boom. I know, Achilles. Boom. Okay, so those two are there, and I will tag them really quickly. Wrath of the Righteous. If you have questions, pop back over. Okay, so Hawking goes a filing. What happened? I don't have any good Pazuzu flavor. It tastes like scorpion birds. There's probably, as you do it, the wind picks up uncomfortably for a split second, like coming out of the east, and then you start to file the Pazuzus down, and then the wind comes as if it's going to go like straight down on top of you for a split second. Your hair is real disturbed. Ubin shows up upset about where you've been for so long, and then is yeeted 1d4 feet by the wind, and then it goes away. But other than that, there's no trouble with it.
Damn it, bird. Get back here.
I don't have any... mostly just flying and screaming about Pazuzu did this, and this is Pazuzu is the son of Descari, and did you know his... It begins going about the grosser flavor text about Pazuzu that I don't necessarily want to talk about right now.
Ubin, we were told not to say the name.
I can say it. I didn't say it 3 times. I know that you have to say it aloud 3 times in the same breath. Watch. Pazuzu, Pazuzu, Pazuzu. And then nothing happens. Puffs out his chest a little bit.
Just takes a break from filing to facepalm real hard and then goes back to filing.
There's probably a lot of people who, like, Ubin starts doing that in common, and lots of people, like, turn the corner. Aravashniel's like, you damn filthy... And he starts, like, making the somatic components for Magic Missile to shut Ubin up, and then stops. Aravashniel blinks once. I keep almost calling him Sand. Blinks once. Goes about his business. Meanwhile, Grizak, where do you go for the meditation?
Somewhere quiet. Somewhere with open air.
Okay.
For the hell of it, I'm probably dragging the dragon with me by the tail, since I don't think we have anything that can actually bind him, so keeping a close eye on him is probably the next best thing.
That makes sense. Achilles, you've done such a good job of not meowing.
No. Grazek is, while he's wondered if, with how close they're able to commune with their gods, or if it's possible for him to try and commune back, he's going to try the same ritual from when he was younger to see if something... The last time he tried to perform that ritual, he got apocalyptic visions and basically went on a rampage.
Okay.
Did you warn anyone that that's a possibility first?
Oh. No, but he went far away, and he didn't have Apsu's true blessing before.
Reasonable. Okay. The ritual resolves. Your mythic tier is 2, so you have 2 questions.
Is drawn, incantations are whispered. I am stalling for time because I'm not sure what...
Okay.
Waybringer, Will ancestors, or one of you are listening. I gotta do the lizard voice.
Yeah.
Their thoughts along the men and the elves. these monsters seek to consume the world, but the end will not be brought. The cataclysm that will follow the confrontation of the Father and the misbegotten. His minions is here. A part of the great betrayer's plan. The end will the fate of this world be decided by what happens here.
Okay.
Essentially, I'm asking if this is going and trying to jumpstart the apocalypse again.
Right. Okay, so you begin the ritual. You ask the question. As you do so, the silver of your scales begins rapidly changing in color from silver to gold to brass to bronze to copper and back again as you just metallic rainbow out, more or less. You feel peaceful as it starts. Everything is quiet. The air around you tastes like the air of the River Kingdoms as opposed to the corruption of the World Wound. You finish your question, and in the pit of your stomach, as you bring up Dahak and Dahak's children, you feel an immense, great, and terrible sadness. Not unlike the feeling one feels when somebody who they are very close to does something that's completely against everything that you stand for, and you still care about them and you hope they're doing okay and want them to be better than they are because you know that they can, but also that that's probably never going to happen. And just the wave of sadness overwhelms Grzak at the question. It is followed by a feeling of resolute inevitability. You, according to the teachings of your deity, and it's awkward because all of the deities, all the pantheons have a different, this is how the world began, this is how it's going to end, kind of arc in their lore. But in your heart of hearts, you know the answer to that question is yes.
Not a lot. In my heart of hearts, the question is
yes. Achilles.
Overwhelming sense of grief and inevitability.
Mm-hmm.
Assuming that's just the same kind of pain that Abringer must have felt when
Grzak has the overwhelming impression that one of his own children has betrayed him.
Believe in the mother, Tiamat.
Mm-hmm.
We can get to that later.
Okay, sure.
Okay.
So
well,
to be unflavor textingly clear, yes, it would appear this has something to do with the end of the world.
okay. I'm sorry, you keep cutting out.
I
Let me
do.
try again.
I'm full of righteous anger. I'm just gonna...
This has something to do with
The end of the world.
It's
Hey.
the end of
The world as we know it.
Okay, well, a second question is, I word this one. Oh. Father was willing to add his compassion for his son, for the sake of the entire world. The son cannot be saved. That's what I'm definitely feeling from that. Souls are among the traitors now, and now their fates are hands. One of them is merely a savage for all I know. One of them is assumably a completely unrepentant maniacal trader whose mind who was probably set on this path in a way that wasn't too dissimilar from his face, the old dwarf, whose mind was at first just twisted and gave a little push that led to him becoming a psychopath that worships a giant bug demon thing. The other is, well, forgotten child of Apsu himself. Well, a misbegotten grandchild, I guess, would be the proper. Might be the spawn of Dahak. I'm not entirely. Hey, TDLR.
2 didn't. Long read.
Is it possible? Ooh. Any of these three necessarily turn into the light, but at least turn away from darkness.
Okay. You ask the question. The feeling of grief, and if I keep cutting out a bunch, just yell at me and I'll look really close into my microphone. I turned my noise gate off too, so I should be okay. In theory, actually. I'm gonna relog real fast just to be sure. Really just clear up the RNG real fast, because the RNG has anything to do with this. The feelings of, like, sadness and despair in regards to is the son of Apsu present in this, they turn towards the servant of Dahak who's arrived. I know, buddy. Kieran's familiar shows up. They're very loud. The feelings of sadness and just that my child has betrayed me and there's not much we can do about it kind of center on the dragon for a second, and there's this tiny glimmer of hope that you feel, again, in that heart of hearts of yours, but it's tiny and just overwhelmed again with the resolution of what must be done. To unflavorfully mechanically answer the question, so far as the infernal dragon goes, probably not a lot of hope. So you mean there's I'll say you can certainly try. I'll be that guy. But mostly it's from Apsu's POV, just as soon send it somewhere else. The feeling of grief goes away completely, as then you now feel the taste in your mouth again, not as if you just, or not unlike you just bitten into a giant insect. As you instinctively know it's turned to Staunton. The feeling goes just kind of, to describe it in a color, it just feels like a greenish black grossness in your heart for a second. You feel probably what Staunton feels when he communes with his deity. A definitive, almost the sound of like a gavel falling, stomp of a dragon. Staunton is not redeemable. You should probably deal with him swiftly and make sure the remains are consecrated and put somewhere where he can't come back. He made his choice.
Fair enough.
Lastly, we turn to Jestik. There, as like that feeling kind of floats away from you and you get that like serenity once again. You don't do anything about it, and it's probably a little scary to Grzak, frankly. But there is like uncontrollable rage builds up in you. Grzak is doing this somewhere alone, otherwise people would see like your muscles start to spasm and you start to shake and start to like growl a little bit. For probably about I'm going to say about 15 seconds, give or take, Grzok's agency just kind of melts into anger. Not unlike that of like a cornered beast. The instinct of, if I don't kill everything around me, I'm going to die. And then that goes away. The adrenaline, like, it doesn't just shut off automatically. God forbid. Grzok just passes out from his body dividing by 0. But you realize you catch your breath. And, like, you no longer feel the overwhelming urge to rip and tear. It's replaced with that feeling that you get when you've been misled, promised something that doesn't actually exist, or that someone chose to not give you. The swell in your emotional center of great wealth and splendor and power if I just do all of the stuff that we've done, and then it doesn't happen. Crestfallen, threats of violence if you try to do anything about it, and then it kind of abruptly fades to black, as almost as if you'd knocked yourself out. Like, you kind of just blink a little, as if you'd just fallen asleep.
You get the sense of where that pain and rage is directed towards. Like, a promise that was broken by...
It's a fair, probably a fair assumption that either Staunton or Aponovinkus, one or the other, probably Staunton, based on what you saw in the journal. Based on, Staunton didn't leave any specific notes about Jestik really wanted to drink the mythic potion, but we didn't let her. Ha ha! You probably... The feelings of great wealth and splendor can be put a little closer towards, that. The feeling that you could have had this great, powerful thing, and then, frankly, seen those with that great and powerful thing single-handedly storm a fortified citadel and take it. But you didn't get that. Why didn't you? Are you not good enough? That kind of thing. But the overwhelming sensation is yes, Jestek can be redeemed. Redeemed is actually, redeemed is probably too strong a word in this case. Jestek almost feels a little more caught in the middle. You know what I mean?
So she's not necessarily evil to begin with, she's just on the wrong side?
More like she hasn't signed any contracts that are binding. That sort of thing. You assume probably she got those skills somehow, and they probably came from punching people until they were dead. But it's not like she's sold her soul to a demon lord like Staunton has.
Oh. Assign her some anger management.
It's not the worst way
Be
to
a
put
good
it.
start.
Or, give her a place to point that anger that isn't just, this is gonna hit the metagame on the head real hard. Don't be like, I'll make you mythic if you kill all these people who did nothing wrong, and then don't. That kind of thing. Another great way to put it is you Grzok, have met Crusaders. Not necessarily, the people with you now are tried and true servants of good aligned deities, almost overwhelmingly so, but you've met people who have been... No. Here's an even better way to put it. Think Hawken. Hawken wants to punch people and kill them, but he's not he's not going to turn on someone because someone did something, unfair to him. He's not going to, if you figured out Aravashnial cheated him at dice, reasonably speaking, it's probably okay to assume Hawken's not going to try to kill him. But that doesn't mean that there's not a lot of anger in the human's heart that he's vomiting at demons. I did not realize there was... Good.
In my defense, they deserve.
I didn't realize there was such a good correlation between Hawken and Jestik, but there is. Yes. The ritual ends. The serenity kind of fades. It no longer smells like the River Kingdoms. It once again smells like frozen, burning locust eyeballs. Welcome to hell.
Unconscious because it's been an hour.
I am assuming that the bad guys are being kept unconscious until you guys decide what to do with them. In a mechanical sense, it wouldn't be hard at this point, even for, like, generic soldier 53 to walk up with a club and tag somebody in the side of the head and keep the non-lethal on.
Let's see, at some point, we probably spend some time making sure that they were, like, tied up or the dragon was chained down, and now
Here's
that
the
our
thing,
army is here to support.
I assume that we didn't really have something big enough to hold him down, so while this whole process is going down, I further away area from camp.
Okay. You definitely have, like, he's damn it, Matthew. He's big, but he's not, like, overwhelmingly so. He's not much bigger than a horse, and there's stuff that tie them down. You just need to apply more rope, tie the dragon's mouth shut, things of that nature. Pin the wings so they can't extend.
Can you all hear me?
Yes.
I would imagine dragons are kind of like crocodiles. They don't really have to worry about opening their mouth.
Well, can you follow that up with a zoology lesson for those of us who don't know as much about crocodiles? Because I'm not sure.
I like it less a zoology method and more math because it still has at least 3 other appendages that it can.
Well, yes, but like it's the whole idea of like when Steve Irwin would jump on crocodiles and alligators and could hold their mouth closed with his hand.
Yeah.
Their
They're
ability.
designed all the forces for closing their mouths if they don't have very strong muscles to open them. So you can hold a crocodile's mouth shut like with your bare hand super easy.
I now have a little more frame of reference for all the times I went to the state fair as a child and saw people do that and was blown away as a little baby Tommy. Fair enough. It's probably similar-ish. In any case, that like there are smart enough NPCs in the army that the dragon is restrained. The dragon can't breath weapon everyone.
An evil dragon rodeo would.
Yeehaw.
Okay, well, in the words of Raiden, I have consulted with the Elder Gods. Grazak's going to wander back to camp and if you guys weren't certain of it now, Apocalypse is essentially at our doorstep.
Yep.
Necessarily at the demon's hands, per se. There is also pulling the strings, apparently. So, believe it or not,
Who else is pulling the strings?
Betrayer, Dahak, Sorrow Maker, God Eater.
Big scary scaly.
What do they gain out of this?
I'm not sure if that was a question for me or a question for Nick.
Yeah, it was just kind of an in character.
Okay.
I don't know. Whomever.
Dahak is a deity who's obsessed with one thing, getting vengeance on the Waybringer, Apsu.
The Waybringer.
Bringer, Apsu.
Oh, I heard. I was just going. He brings the way.
While this is going on, there are like the proper noun NPCs have joined the powwow. If you would like to bring them into anything, they're at this point they're quiet. Aravashnial probably like gets a little too close to the dragon, raises his eyebrows, looks at Haken and does the thumbs up, point thumb towards neck, drag across neck, and then like aggressively nod his head in the direction of the passed out dragon.
Give it time. I think we're getting to that.
Another thing dragon is apparently more redeemable.
That's a joke, right?
More redeemable than something? Like, I would expect that to have been.
As in, the literal hell dragon is more worthy of being given a chance than Staunton, who sold his soul to a demon lord.
I know you got a fancy bird. But
Atrocities in his name.
wouldn't it be really fun to go ride into battle on a dragon?
Dragon tails.
That would basically be like me wanting to be given a picnic ride by my cousins.
Hey, that was fun as a kid.
It's still fun for Kieran to this day.
Were you even a child?
Yes. A long time
How
ago.
were you then as a child? Were you like this big at however old you are? This have been like super, super small when
I started about the same size you did.
I doubt that.
I don't.
Born like when we were born, I was probably 3 times the size of you are when I was hatched.
Right, but how big were you when you started growing in the egg?
Probably the same size as when I hatched. I was in the egg.
I'm so
I'm
sorry.
trying to give Razak a biology lesson, and I don't think that's gonna fly.
He doesn't care. He doesn't understand.
I know this sounds bizarre, and this probably isn't even the wisest thing, but I want to talk to this creature. And in Tempe, Kieran,
Yeah, we're
perhaps
not the wisest thing, but
there's a chance before.
I'm not against talking to anything. I've been around long enough to know that good is not good and bad is not bad.
Well, except demons. Demons are absolutely bad.
Even not always.
have you met one that wasn't?
I mean, I can't remember one off the top of my head, but I've met some, and I will do the air quotes, terrible people who really weren't bad. They just were doing the best that they thought with what they had.
Sure, but those are people. Demons are just monsters of evil. Like they're evil incarnate. I don't think there's any redeeming that.
I'm not a person. Does that mean I can only be one thing?
As
Most
Kieran
of
says
my-
that, his form flips like 25 times.
Well,
You're just because you're not human doesn't mean you're not a person. I guess that's the distinction I'm drawing.
I mean, most people see my kind and just start running away.
People scared of fairies?
Indeed, we
Yes.
usually assume that this one has come to replace our children with something, or in general, prank the hell out of us. So say it there, Vashniel.
What's your take on this, Warden?
Well,
At the very worst, you might be able to learn.
what I will say is, I certainly would like to call dibs on any bits and pieces of tall, red, and scary that any of you don't need. Yes, Achilles. He gets up, and there's like a small handful of your soldiers have assembled as this conversation is going around, and he stands up, looks around, just, you, come here, please. And stepping forward, he's wearing much lighter armor than the average knight of Canabras, and there's a couple of, like, they look like Iomedae's holy symbol long swords, like stylized in that fashion, hanging X pattern on his back. I'm sorry, I forget your name, friend, but would you kindly remove your helmet? And he does so, and his hair, which is, I want to say, about as long as mine, but that doesn't mean anything for anybody who's not,
Seeing you?
basically it means nothing for Nick. Well, y'all watch my videos. About, like, chest-length black hair, which is unnaturally greasy. His eyes are like a bright, vibrant orange. He looks at Vashniel nods. The man smiles, and when he does so, rows and like shark-level rows of spiky, jagged, pointing the wrong directions teeth, a tongue that somehow has survived unscathed. The smile ends, puts his helmet back on, nods, and then goes back into the ranks. Our tiefling friend here has proven perhaps not as powerful as you, but I would not question his dedication, his zeal, any more than I would question yours, Grizak. Certainly, form does not dictate mentality. Hagen is correct. Most demons are created from abject emotion. In life, commit a certain sin, be the aspect, if you will, of that certain sin, then perish, and you are damned forever. In the case of our draconic friend here, certainly he reeks of hell, frankly. But that doesn't mean he's not necessarily of the place. Probably has the compulsion to hoard, the compulsion to collect things, but other than that, seems fine to me, assuming he doesn't try to eat us when he wakes up.
Do you not have the compulsion to hoard?
I take that as a personal offense, Kieran. Also,
I mean,
kind of.
do you not have a library full of books and knowledge?
I did.
Do we not have our own stockpiles of stuff?
You
that
certainly
we've
do.
collected?
We certainly do now.
But I don't think anyone here has the compulsion to want to be.
Want to?
Perhaps the fat man would, but that's because he's, well. Fat man.
I'll feel personally attacked now, says Horgus Worm before he sits back down and goes bean counting again. Yeah, that's what he does. He's the professional bean counter. Or
Is he counting beans?
He's
Does
keeping
someone-
stock of garrisons, and he is.
Oh, that's a figure of
professional
speech.
porterman.
one pinto bean, 4 refried bean cans. It'll be super good. We're gonna make the best taco salad in all the world, won't? Hungry now.
Might say the only.
The only taco salad in all the world, boom. Yes, indeed. But yeah, no, he's just mechanically in a session or two. He's probably the treasurer, but
Well, on the plus side, the angry.
You're still cutting out.
Mic close to face, friendo. Achilles would really like to go into the living room.
Really, it's just Staunton that's absolutely
Beyond redemption?
Not worth the time to try and redeem.
Irrational nods.
so. I'm
There's kind of a
wondering if-
general wave of nod amongst the rest of the paladins.
So
He needs to pay for his crimes.
That does not mean I condone his death. Because at his current state, he may be, as was just said, those who live far enough into a sin become the sin. I would rather not.
we kill him, that would
Certainly, if he's about to come back as the next greatest demon lord of the world, it will be well after our lifetimes.
then we destroy the body, consecrate it, make sure.
I'll just look at Aravashniel and go, after whose lifetime?
You know what I mean.
Yes, I don't want to have to fight him later. Even if you are an elf boy, I probably still live longer than you.
Given how much you just pulled off inside a nigh impenetrable citadel, yes, I believe you may well indeed, Kieran. You've come so far from being my eyes and ears to being my giant magic missile of death.
Speaking of which, I can be your magic missile of death now.
What do you mean?
I'm not guaranteed to hit.
I'm not sure what you mean.
Oh, I wasn't able to use my sling
Oh.
The demon to death.
and had to punch things. It was interesting.
It sounds interesting.
I would have been laughing hysterically were it not for my unfettered rate. Probably a little bit of my inferiority complex.
There. Oh, Holy One, God still wills it. And so does Achilles. God and Achilles wills it. Paladin of Achilles. Hit me.
Oh. Now, before we start discussing before we try to go too deep into any of what we just discussed, the matter of the banner.
You still have to go get it.
Oh, demon. First thing tomorrow morning?
Sure. Well, we do have everyone gathered here.
Indeed.
This is kind of metagamey, but do y'all have something to do with the party funds?
Y'all, as in the party, or y'all as in the army?
Y'all is in the party or the army?
Do you mean have something to do with the funds?
Certainly there's like a war chest.
Like a use for them?
Are there merchants here? Is that what you're asking?
Well, I have a magic item that I want to make. It's just expensive.
Mm.
I mean, I've got a lot of magic items I'm wanting to like get enchanted and stuff, but I'm not sure if we're splitting the funds up or if we just have like a pool. So I guess I'm a little unclear on that.
Right now, we have a pool that we've just been putting money in.
Hoard, if you will.
You're no better than the damn Hell Dragon.
We have split up the money in the past, but we haven't done that in a while. Because the last time we got a sizable amount, we went through and I asked everyone if they had anything they absolutely wanted and or needed, and we all said no because we had just lost our dwarf. So I made the bag of holding, which we then proceeded to in the next session get a one size
Another
step
one.
down.
Yeah.
So we now have 2 bags of holding.
Ah!
So he wants to make a ring of greater invisibility. It's very,
Technically,
very
it would be a
expensive.
helm. Technically, it's a
helm.
helm of invisibility.
Helm of greater invisibility, yes.
Mechanically, the same thing.
It would make him ridiculous. Like, it would make him ridiculous.
It would essentially allow me to not have to worry about stealthing as much.
Well, what? Okay. Well, what do you need to make it?
Money.
It costs 224,000 gold. I can make it for 17,844.
Which is just about all of the gold we have, although we could still sell off all of the magical items that we're not going to use.
Yeah, this is all of our straight gold. That's not including any of our thousands, hundreds of gemstones, or the scepter of emerald and ivory that's 4,000 gold itself.
Certainly the quicksilver that can res somebody is a little less useful in the party that has a mythic oracle. That probably sells for a whole lot.
Yeah, the dose of oil of life is expensive.
Yeah,
Next level I can res people, so...
As in level 9 you can, or level 10?
10.
Once Tempe gets 5th level spells, basically.
Until that happens, we should still hold on to that.
Well, sure, obviously.
Even when that does happen, we probably want to hold on to it, because I think the oil functions as like resurrection rather than raise.
I'm just saying.
Sorry, what?
Crazy thought, but oh wait, never mind.
I said I can res you guys, but who can res me?
Who reses the reser, if you will.
Also, raise dead makes you lose a level, and so I think the oil does not.
There's raise dead, but there's also another spell I'll be taking,
Breath of Life?
which heals for Breath of Life heals for 46, and brings people back from the from dead if they died recently, and that does not take away a level.
Indeed, if we cast Breath of Life within 1 round, I think it's 1 round of someone dying, it can heal them.
I think it creates an elixir of life.
Look, as terms of finances, I'm sure that we have more than enough where the 17k would be a worthy investment for that ring. But we'll have to calculate sometime between now and next session how much all of our current non-gold loot.
And I think what I will say is you have a lot of gold-based loot. The non-gold-based stuff, there's no one to buy it until you get done with the dungeon, basically. At the start of Book 3, there will be a merchant again. Horgus has, like, a cat. Would you like to buy rations? Basically.
We somehow find a portal to Abadar's, perfect.
Right.
Or summon, like, a Mercane.
Oh, that would actually be a hilarious idea if, like...
My god, cat.
An extra planar, like, servant of Abadar who just going to a pocket dimension who's...
What are you buying?
Like, he's like the merchant that you find in, like, a hub world of, like, a video game.
Reign of Winter gets something like that, yeah. In any case, this probably isn't the worst place to call it if there's not any other, like... Would you like to talk to an NPC? Have you decided what you want to do? Who gets to get the coup de grace on Staunton? Things of that nature.
What happened to Moran?
Recovering. He nods in the direction of the general direction of where maybe not the full camp, but like triage centers have been set up.
Can you run a full round of divinations on him to make sure he is what he appears to be?
Already did.
And?
He checks out. Poor bastard.
Divination on who?
Well, your giant death bird brought him over. Something about being captured by demon lords.
Giant Deathbird has a name, Rift Warden.
Yes,
It's
you're
Shaga.
right. Shaga indeed. Anybody else?
Nope, I'm good for now.
Alrighty then, I think that's where we're calling it for today. If you didn't already, go ahead and level to 9, and we will be back now, actually, in 2 weeks for what might round out book 2. I keep saying that, but then we don't, but then we do. We'll see. Until then, thank you guys for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe for more videos, and we will be back at it next time. Achilles, say bye.